Hi everyone, this is Andrea from the Art and Nature Center, and today we're going to take our art making activity outside with a really fun and simple drawing activity called shadow drawing. You can see that different trees and plants create this really beautiful imagery for this project. Alright, now that I've explored and picked out the shadow that I want to draw, what you do is prepare your paper. And I have a sketchbook right here, so it has that hard surface built in for drawing, but you can use whatever paper you have and just any hard surface, like maybe a piece of cardboard or a hard covered book, any flat hard surface. And then you want to situate your paper into the composition that you want to start drawing. So I think I'm going to stay there and start tracing my shadow. The sun can move your shadow, so you might have to draw a little quickly, and depending on how movable your nature is, the wind might affect it at points also. This is a great simple activity to take your art making outside on those really nice sunny days, and it also allows us to explore positive and negative space. So the actual shadow of the tree that I'm drawing is my positive space, and then all of the shapes that will be created in and around my positive space is the negative space. And we can design both the positive and negative space of these drawings however we want. Alright, and you can see that my shadow by the end has already started to move, but there's my positive and negative shadow drawing. I've already started by painting my positive space, and I did that with a nice little brush because I have a lot of thin areas here, and now I'm gonna start with the lighter green in the negative space. So I just like to dab it a little bit in the water when I have a thicker paint, because that helps it spread a bit further. When I do this, when I paint these shadow drawings, to really help emphasize and make the positive and negative space pop and look really different, I like to use contrasting colors as well. So those are the colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. Greens and reds, or that could be blues and oranges, or yellows and purples. And you can see for the most part I can stick with a large brush, but I might want to switch to my small one. We can get really tight into those lines. So I'm going to keep going with that until I have all of this white area painted that nice light green color. The next process I like to do is collaging in either my positive or negative space. And what I did here was, with just a marker, I colored in all of the negative space black. And coloring in is definitely the fastest way to take these drawings a little bit further. But I wanted to make it a little more interesting. So I'm collaging in the positive space with some newspaper, actually. You're welcome to cut with scissors if you'd like, but I kind of like that raw, ripped edge. So I'll show you how I do this process. Kind of see the edges, match them up. A nice little rip in there. And then I can literally take my glue stick right on there If you have colored construction paper, that makes for really great collaging, or any sort of scrapbook paper also. And even though we're not using colors, it adds a definitive contrast to the positive and negative space. Sometimes it doesn't fit my edges perfectly, but because I know that these are tree branches, makes the edges really interesting. I'm gonna keep going with that until I fill all of the white positive space in this one. I really hope you enjoy this activity and get really creative with your shadow drawings.